I just want to say thank you again for having me. Good evening to everyone. And the title of my speech is We Are So Much More Than the Label of Our Diagnoses. It has been 28 years, and I can still remember almost every I'm sorry when I shared with someone I am visually impaired. I remember those moments when people say to me, I would rather be deaf than blind, as if disabilities are some cool pair of pants that either you like or don't like. For years, I wanted to be seen as, quote, normal. I was bullied not only for my disability, but also for my musical interest. There was an incident in high school of a debate as to whether I could sing. The no's argued that I could not sing because I sang that classical stuff. And the yeses were just people claiming Beyoncé trained classically. I tell you these things not to dishearten you, but to give you a sense of the reality we sometimes face, the unnecessary pity that is shown towards us, the complete dismissal of us when we shop, and things are handed to the person we are with instead of us. The erasure of our sense of self. This is hurtful. These types of overlooks have not and will not stop us from being our best selves. We are more than our diagnosis. We are athletes. We are teachers. We are lawyers. We are activists, we are musicians, we are opera singers, and we refuse to have our lights dimmed. I believe with continued outreach and education, our community will have an abundance of citizens who know how to interact with the disabled and see our hearts and souls. We are normal. We need not to adapt to the world. But the world should be adaptable to us and our needs so that equity is the norm and not an oversight. 28 years is not a long time, but I have witnessed and been privileged to partake in changes that have occurred since the ADA was enacted 30 years ago, and I am eternally grateful. You do make a difference when your voice is heard. Another point that I would like to speak about is the fact that there is a spectrum of disabilities. What we are not is a monolith of disabilities, especially when it comes to blindness and deafness, in which my disabilities fall under. My disease causes my vision to fluctuate throughout the day. Other people with visual impairments in which they may have sight in one eye or low vision in the other. Some blind people see nothing, some blind people see colors, and some people just see shapes. So as you can see, it just depends on the spectrum in which a person functions. What is normal? Why does society say that? Normalcy is a societal construct that has led us to believe that we must fit into a mold. These molds have brought about insecurities and disbelief in which many of us have experienced at one point or another. In reality, we, persons with disabilities, have the most potential to blow those beliefs out of the water. We, you, I get to determine what I can do. My ability is not determined by perception, not a guess, not based on past cases, etc. While our diseases and conditions are a part of us, they are not the whole of us. We have more that brings us into commonality with each other and those who are disabled as well as those who are able-bodied, and that we all have insecurities. We all fight fears. Many of us have been bullied either at work, school, online. One distinguishing factor based on my experience and conversations I have had with others who are disabled is that we face challenges daily, and yet we still rise. We are still determined to be our best selves in spite of those who think we cannot. An important part of being determined and strong is also the responsibility to be an advocate for yourself and others. I am not a perfect advocate. In fact, I am quite flawed. It was hard as I was growing up to speak up for myself. I didn't want the attention drawn to myself any more than what it already was. My mom, who has always been my biggest and loudest cheerleader, was always gently prodding me in meetings, doctor appointments, to speak up. Finally, she stopped speaking, and I found my voice. I realized my voice had impact. People would listen to me, and I can make a difference for myself and others. I've had the opportunity to see and visit all over the world. I've been in Washington, D.C., advocating for the rights of all disabled people. I, with you, will be the difference makers. I am, you are determined, and our lights are shining. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This light of mine, I'll let it shine. This little light of mine, I'll let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'll let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let your light shine.